What's up, guys? City Striker here, and I'm so shocked from what I saw on Saturday. I'm not shocked that Sean Strickland beat Adesanya because we've seen Adesanya lose, but I'm shocked how he lost. He was really dominated. It looked like he had no success in that fight. He just didn't win it. Like he basically didn't win any rounds, and it was a harder fight than he could have ever anticipated. Because I think that's due to a lot of things, though. Number one, he's arguably one of the best strikers, or if not the best striker in the UFC. And when you have that mentality, you're like, okay, if you're gonna be me, you need to be someone like an Alex Pereira, a kickboxer from my past, or a kickboxer in general who just comes into UFC and is really high level. Or you need to be like a grappler or whatever. But in this fight, it was none of those things. And before, when he lost, you could say that he was winning against Pereira and that he got caught. With Blachowicz, you could say that he went up to new weight class and he lost when he was like taken down or whatever. But with Sean Strickland, it's like he had no moments of success. And Sean Strickland didn't even use his grappling, so he just completely outstruck him and beat him on the feet where he was supposed to beat him at, which is just really, really crazy. And seeing that live was just one of the most shocking things ever. But either way, I think that for now, Adesanya definitely needs to take some time off. He's been pretty active and he's had a long career. I think this was his 27th MMA fight, which is a lot of, just for MMA in general. There's a lot of fighters who don't even make it to 25 professional fights. But not only has Adesanya had 27 MMA fights, but he's had 80 kickboxing fights, and which is unbelievable. Imagine all that, like the wear and tear that's been on your body, all the strikes absorbed, all that. He's been very active too in his UFC career. So he, even after the Pereira fight, Pereira stopped him in December. And usually when you get stopped by striking or a TKO, you kind of want to take some time off. You don't want to rush into it. But Adesanya, I think it was 5 months or maybe 6 months, and then he came back, and he looked fine. He has a great chin for a guy who, he was knocked out cold by Pereira in kickboxing. And usually when you get knocked out, actually it kind of depends. When you get knocked out and you're relatively young, you can still kind of recover, and since you're younger, your body's gonna then it's the first time your body's gonna recover and you'll be fine. But if you're a bit on the older side and you get stopped, it's for example, Kamaru Usman. He got knocked out and he was 35 years old, and then he came back and he looked very different in the third Edwards fight. So it takes a toll, and it's very different. You need to be careful of that. Sometimes you get knocked out and that's it. Your chin's gone, or it's just going to completely change your style. But Adesanya, when he was knocked out, like I said, he was young. So he was able to, come back and not be chinny or whatever. But yeah, then he's just had a long career in general. That's obviously, like I said, a lot of wear and tear on their body. And when you've had such a long career, there's not going to be a huge window for your prime. And he didn't look like he was slower or anything, but he didn't look like he was too much improved from his previous fights. What I'm trying to say is, it seems like Adesanya is starting to he's been rising up slowly. If it's a static chart, you could see, or a graph, he's been rising, but now it seems like it's getting to the point of that straight line where it's gonna kind of be stuck at that. And that's a problem, because if he's gonna go in the rematch where he was just dominated, he had no answers, and he didn't have the sense of urgency to be okay, you know what, I'm losing this fight. Let's just go brawl. Let's just go to war. And he had that mindset for Alex Pereira, and maybe it's because of the way he was training in the lead up to the Pereira fight that he was able to channel that. But in this Strickland fight, his coaches are like, "You're losing. You need a knockout." I think they might have said something to that extent, but they weren't able to like switch him back on. And yeah, he just kind of like didn't go for it. He just kind of like waited for the fight to be over, and he was like, "You know what? I lost this time. I'm gonna come back though." But yeah, in my opinion, he should have had that more like, you know what? Let's just go to toe to toe and let me just try to get this guy out of there. But yeah, now he's going to have to get into this rematch where he doesn't have anything to build off of, and like he's not gonna grapple Sean Strickland. He lost on the feet. He tried a lot of his attacks, so it's gonna be interesting seeing his different approach. Because I don't think he's gonna like change like his skill set. Like I think he's past that point. I think he's just gonna change his approach, like in terms of like maybe just instead of going backwards, he's gonna go like forward and pressure him. Like that's basically what he did with Alex Pereira. But he kind of looked like how he did with Jared Cannonier, which is crazy. Like it seems like with these other middleweights, it's like he doesn't take their striking as seriously as he did with Alex Pereira, because he knew that Pereira could switch him off, like he could switch his lights off. And he didn't expect Sean Strickland to do that, which is fair to think that because Sean Strickland hasn't been a knockout artist. He's just been a volume hitter. And he dropped him, and I think that really, really like shook him. And then it didn't. I think that's why he didn't want to like go into that brawl mode. Maybe he just didn't want to get like knocked out by Sean Strickland or whatever it was. Maybe Sean Strickland's pressure was too much and his defense was too much too. But yeah, in my opinion, I think he should take some time off. Take the rest of the year off. Sean Strickland's probably gonna come back in December and fight Drake Duplessis, and Duplessis has already said that if he wins, he's gonna call out Israel. So he's gonna get a title shot when he comes back. So yeah, just take some time off, like refine your skills, because like Sean Strickland was saying, like there was a lot of times Adesanya was loading up on some shots, and it like he was telegraphing them heavy, and he hasn't fixed that. If you look at the start of his UFC career, he's always been doing that, and that's a problem because it's been working for so long. He's never really had to fix anything, and that's not the type of thing, the type of mentality you want to have. You always want to fix your holes and like look back at your tape, but it's so easy to get caught up in that with all the people saying you're the best striker in the UFC and this and that, glitch in the matrix and all that stuff. So he just needs to come back, focus on his skills and not like any of the other stuff that's going on. And yeah, practice patience, like he's been saying, like practice patience, take your time. And I hope this isn't like where Izzy is starts like his downfall, but I definitely think that he's starting to stagnate and his skills are like not regressing, but they're not like progressing. And yeah, that's not good. That's not what you want. You don't want these other middleweights doing that to you. But I hope you can come back, and I really, really hope this is not the end of his prime. But it's going to be tough to beat Strickland for Adesanya.